A genuine Pac-Man from 1980. Karate Champ dates back to 1984. Super Mario Bros. Was a hit in 1988. In 1991, Street Fighter was one of the first fighting games. Computer games might not be proper works of art, but they've now been given their own museum.
Computer games are a piece of culture, one of the most interesting cultural phenomena of our times. There have been computer games for as long as there have been computers. They're closely tied to the invention of the computer. For many of us, they're the first contact we have with a technology that's become central. As kids, we all play computer games, so they help define the era and our perception of digital media. They encourage interaction and participation.
Andreas Lange is curator of the Computer Games Museum in Berlin, one of only 10 in the whole world. This one boasts the largest collection of all of them, and it contains a number of surprises, such as this reproduction of the first electronic computer introduced in Germany, complete with the game Nimrod, made by British company Ferranti. It was unveiled at the Berlin Industrial Show in 1951. Then Economics Minister Ludwig Erhard was clearly intrigued.
Computers and games are intertwined from the very beginning, and of course everyone's drawn to the idea of an electronic superbrain as an opponent, the rival you invariably lose to, unless you know the tricks.
Over time, both the games and the players have become smarter. The museum shows how the technology has grown ever more sophisticated.
Computer technology has come a long way. Take the adventure genre, which started out completely text-based. You read it the way you read a book and typed in your input. Then the first graphics were introduced, and eventually it evolved into the 3D world we know today.
The museum encourages interaction and expects to attract some 90,000 visitors in its first year.
I like the way they've charted the historical development of a medium we all like to use in our free time.
As a computer game player, this makes it feel more socially accepted. It shows computer games aren't as bad as they're portrayed. They're part of history.
The exhibition also showcases hardware. Icons of product design include the world's very first console, first launched in 1968. Taking computer games out of the arcades and into the comfort of your own home was made possible by the brown box. It was designed by Ralph Baer, who filed a number of patents for video games in the US.
It was the birth of a whole new industry of games for both children and adults. In fact, the industry wasn't originally aimed at kids. If you look at the old commercials, they tend to show adults playing video games while enjoying a glass of wine.
In West Germany, computer games soon went mainstream. Whole TV shows revolved around the new medium, like this one in 1977. But in communist East Germany, video games were state-controlled. The only gaming machine available in the country was Polyplay, and it was only permitted in youth and community centers that towed the party line.
Western computer technology couldn't be supplied to the communist bloc because of trade embargoes. So in the East, they had to design a lot themselves, and were very keen to get kids interested in computers at a young age. Computer games were used to identify talent.
And there's something else about computer games that not a lot of people know.
In a way, the sounds you got in computer games were an early form of digital music. It's closely tied to techno music and the electronic music scene. A lot of movers and shakers in the techno scene grew up with computer games and are very attracted to these sounds.
Computer games have become such a part of modern life and popular culture that they definitely deserve their own museum.